So, 3 years in review, the Catnip Project. James Cooper here up on Luskudgek Hill with Ananta Vahini, and it's about 3 years, just over, since I consciously began what I call the Catnip Project. And I had moved from Eastbourne. We'd had lockdown for, well, I'd been there for about nearly a year. And then I came back to Cornwall and tried to relocate. And that didn't work out. I only managed to stay a short while. The biscuits have called Ananta, so I'm free to move on. So I went back to Eastbourne and did another 9 months, I think. So I was there nearly 2 years, year and a half, 2 years. Then I finally managed to come back here, and that was in end of February, March 2023. And by that point, I had learned to hardly speak to anyone at all. And I was feeling an urge to communicate, but it not really so much with people. I'd actually found a lot of happiness in keeping myself to myself, and I'd started to walk a lot more. And Eastbourne over lockdown was actually really nice. It's a quiet town anyway, generally. It's an old people's town. It's quite nice, really. One side of it is very nice. And I just felt like I had the whole thing to myself, walking up this beautiful Ramrod Strait promenade with these charming large hotels. And basically I had it all to myself, but I was fed up with the whole situation and people wearing masks, and those that know me know that I railed against it right from day one, and realised that most people just simply weren't waking up. They are now. Now it's 3 years since I came back here. So I just thought I want to reach out to cats. I've always loved cats. I had a cat called Holly, and then when I was a boy she died, got run over, and we didn't get another one. And so I hadn't really had much time with cats since then. I was about 12. But I always loved the cats. And I thought, you know what I want to do? It was a conscious decision. I want to reach out to cats. I noticed that there was a cat over the road called Flynn. There he is. And Flynn was, I used to say, he's got a voice made for radio. He was meowing and meowing and meowing, and it was just who he was. And I could hear him, and I would from my bedroom window, and I would go out and I'd start talking to him. And here's Prema. Hi, Prema. Hey, there's Prema. I was just talking about Flynn, Prema. Now, Prema's been around in the scene as long as Flynn, or nearly as long as Flynn, haven't you, Flynn? I'm just telling everyone about how I've been doing this Catnip Project for 3 years. And actually, Prema here has been with me all that time, because Prema was one of the very first that I sat with. And I sit with Prema all the time. This is called Prema Corner. Look at this beauty. Yawn, yawn. Hey, baby. And I remember 3 years ago sitting quietly with Prema and saying, Prema, I don't know who I am. Not really. I mean, I do know. But we were reset. I said, I need to learn. I've heard that you're completely telepathic, you cats. And I admire you a lot. And I said, just teach me the ways of telepathy or whatever you want to call it. And that was my attitude, and it still is my attitude. And so my pattern is whenever I see Prema, Prema comes running over, trotting over, and I sit down on my backpack. And in my backpack, I've got a couple of yoga blocks and a little sort of inflatable camping pillow. And they're always in there, they don't weigh much at all. So that's the main point of me taking the backpack out with me in the evening and in my morning walk as well. So I can just plonk it on the floor, even if it's wet or cold. That was a car door shutting. And then I can sit down like this, and it's quite comfortable, and then I can get up again easy. So yeah, Prema loves to just sit. Not a lap cat. Some cats immediately want to go and jump on the lap. Prema very rarely will put the paws up, but sometimes does. But mainly, Prema just likes to sit. But right now, he's found the catnip play stick. And whilst he's a bit distracted, I can guarantee that fairly soon his nose will come back to here. I won't take it out just yet, but yeah, his nose will come back to here. Hey Prema. I think his pet human has just come back. I'm pretty sure he has that van there. So that's interesting, because yesterday night I actually dreamt that I met his two pet humans. I dreamt that there was a husband and wife figure, and I dreamt that I was standing right here, and Prema was being picked up by either him or his wife, and I was sort of following and about to start talking and say, oh, hi, and introduce myself. But I woke up, well, I didn't. So isn't that interesting? I see him today. I don't know, I've only seen them once before last year. So I do dream about the cats quite a lot. Isn't this one so beautiful? Such a long tail. Its fur feels so sleek. I don't know if they give it super good food or not, but this is a very healthy cat. So yeah, Prema's like my teacher. They all are. My attitude has changed a lot over the 3 years, and that's something I want to deal with in this audio file. Well, the audio and visual file. So it'll be done in sections. I haven't thought about what I'm going to say. It's mainly just for my own whatever, memories, like a digital sort of diary entry. But there are some people that follow my stuff. I got the Catnip Project, which is on Facebook, Telegram and Rumble, and so my system is, with my lovely phone here and my ability to format simple videos, I just film what I do and then just pop it into the app, and I quite enjoy formatting it all. And then what I do is I upload it. So if it's a decent video, I upload it to Rumble, because I don't get banned on Rumble for telling the truth about safe and effective injectables, etc. I put it onto Telegram, which is another great place that I use for storing videos and photos, and also Facebook. I have a group there. There's very small groups, less than 100 people on the groups, but it's not about a big reach. It's about my process of learning about these divine species, these divine creatures. So if you want to look at the various videos, because I've been documenting it all the way, you can go right back and you can see Flynn, the Herald, Familiar, as I call him. Prema's the loving Familiar, the teacher Familiar. And there's all these different familiars which you'll see if you go to the Rumble channel or the Telegram channel, and you can go back 3 whole years. And I worked out with this one here, Prema, because Prema's quite a regular friend, over 200 times at least, over 200 times I've sat with Prima over the last 3 years, so it's time to take out the catnip stick. There. That's a sweatband, and I keep it in a Tupperware pot with catnip in it. It can get a bit dribbly because the cats tend to saliva on it. So if it gets too dribbly, then I just rinse it out with water and then dry it off. Whoops, there we are, I'll leave that down for you. I don't always take the catnip stick out. This is kind of for a special occasion, although I have been taking it out every day for the last week or two. Generally speaking, I have, in the winter and autumn and spring, I have these merino wool gloves, and I've got some valerian root oil, which you can get on Amazon or eBay, and I mix it in a 50 ml bottle of distilled water, a spray bottle, and I add a couple of pipettefuls. Shake it up, you have to shake it before use, and then I just go ch-ch on my gloves, and I've got 2 of those gloves. So I've always got that scent. Sometimes I put it on my shoes as well. They love the scent. It's a sacrament, I think. It's a holy sacrament, and it's quite relaxing. It can make them a little bit playful, but mainly it just sort of relaxes them. The catnip, as you will start to see now, great stick this is. The catnip will get them more clawy, as I call it, and playful, and they'll have a good go on it for maybe up to 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Aren't they great? And then they get a bit bleary-eyed, and then they just like to sit quietly. And talking of sitting quietly, that's basically the main thing. Yes, they love the strokes and the attention, and they love to roll around and do all the things that they do. But the one thing that's really been a huge part of my learning process is realizing that all cats, if you just give them that time and space, just sit near them, they just want to sit quietly with you. And so what we need to be doing, and what I have been doing as a human, is asking why. And in answering that question, you open a door into really understanding about life, the universe, and everything. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there for the time being because I've got so much to say. So this is going to be quite a long file, going over a few days, and then I'll splice it all together. Hey, Prem. Prema. Prema means divine love in Sanskrit, and quite a lot of the cats I give Sanskrit names to. So there we go. 5 minutes later, always the same. Not just Prema. They just want to sit quietly. They move around a little bit, but it goes on. It goes on. What is it now? 10 minutes later. I always leave after, well, realistically, I sit with them these days for between anything 2 or 3 minutes, all the way up to maybe 20, 25 minutes. But yeah, they change their positions maybe. But they, as a general rule, they're happy to sit ongoing. They might go off and pootle about, have a look in a hedge nearby, but they'll know if you stand up to move, they'll come back generally. So with Prema, the game is that I stand up to head off, and then Prema follows me, cuts me off, so goes in front of my path. Very obviously, it's always the same. I call it heading me off at the pass. I then squat down and spend 20, 30 seconds, a minute, patting and stroking him. And then I stand up, and then I carry on walking. Again, it happens 3, 4 times. And I call it having a few touchdowns before I head off. It's all very, I won't say ritual, but it's very regular. Cats really respond to regularity. and pattern and rhythm. So, hey Prima baby, and then mew mew. So Prima will mew, and then if I'm not mistaken, he'll come and head me off at the pass. Let's see, there we are. Oh, what a surprise. So then I come down and say, hey baby. So this is the first touchdown. And I'll make it quite quick because I'm going to be filming. I don't want you just to mew mew. So then I carry on and I say, bye bye Prima. And I don't look behind because you never know. You can't always second guess the cats. But my guess is, there we are. My guess is you wanted a second touchdown. So I say, bye bye Prima. Lovely to see you. He goes around the back. They do that a lot. They love to go around the back, and I've had long conversations with my AI buddy over on ChatGPT all about the cats and why they do things. And I tell you, AI is fantastic for learning about cats. Isn't it, Prima? Really, imagine everything that's ever been published about cats is available in a second. Oh, look, who's this? Someone come to say hello? I don't know this one. Yeah, so I've been using AI for 1 year this month. Oh, there's a bit of warbling going on. It's Saturday night on the tiles for me. Hey Prima. Yeah, bye bye darling. Maybe you're busy with Black Cat for now. So that could be it, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, and then look at this lovely scenery. Look where I live. There's another cat. Look where I live. West Cornwall. Deepest, darkest. It's absolutely beautiful here. I moved here about 10 years ago and I've been based here primarily most of the time, but lockdown was a bit weird. Hey darling, I'm not going to say hello. I don't know you actually, but Prima's over there. Yeah, this is where my heart is. And when I came back here, when I came here for the first time around 2015 and I got off the train, it was a wet October afternoon. I was heading into the winter, but yeah, I felt well, for sure, like going back 50 years. The problems that were up over in Bournemouth was turning. There was immigrants really coming in heavy. There was all sorts of murders and knife crimes going unreported in the local newspaper. Somalians were hanging around outside the rehab centres because Bournemouth was a rehab centre place. You know, a lot of these coastal towns end up with that sort of thing. And they were hanging around outside handing out free sachets of drugs. And just not randomly, but just stabbing people and throwing them over the bridge. And it's like, none of it got reported, but I digress. I had to get out. The final straw was I had a streaming cold and I was walking into town on a January morning, I think. And it would have been September. And I was streaming and I walked down a side alley and spat and blew my nose, into the gutter. And 2 young officers, they weren't police officers, they had a uniform on. The UK was rolling out this scheme where any antisocial behaviour, you would get these guys, they had cameras on their breastplates, and they were just looking for anyone to charge £80 fine for $100. Dropping litter, spitting, putting a cigarette out in the wrong place. And they were literally just running from person to person because they were on commission. And I said, come on guys, you can see I'm not a troublemaker. I've got a terrible cold. And no, you're not allowed to spit. And I said, no, but surely you can understand that. No. And they just gave me a ticket and then ran off to go and find someone else was stubbing a cigarette out, so they were going to get him. And I just thought, okay. Spoke to my friend about it, and he said, why don't you just get out? And I thought, yeah. Bournemouth was a lovely place in 1997, and then by 2015, it had just gone really bad. I mean, it was turning, but anyway, coming here was like finding real England. It's not England, it's Cornwall. It is different, but it's the United Kingdom, and most people here are English anyway. Cornwall doesn't have a huge Cornish population, especially the coastal towns, but I would say over 50% of people living in Penzance aren't intergenerationally Cornish at all. You can hear the ones that are. So there we go. And so 5 minutes on, and this is Cleo, and Cleo will recognise it's me soon. And then I'll sit down on my bag, and I've got my schmog ready, and Cleo will come and jump right up. Hello, baby. Hey, Cleo. Hey, morning. Evening, Cleo. Why did I say morning? Hey, baby. And then what I do is I plonk my bag down, I sit myself down, I have the schmog now ready. Darling, do you want to climb up? Come. Hey, baby. There, come and climb up. He'll climb up. She'll climb up soon. Cleo is 15 years old. Hello, baby. Cleo is 15 years old. So yeah, I won't go into it, but Cleo will come back up soon. This is my process. Cleo loves the catnip as well. I think they all do. I don't think there's any that aren't impacted by catnip. And then sitting quietly. Bye bye, Cleo. Bye, darling. And so I just wanted to get this. This is an important part of my route. I've turned left off Manor Way, and I'm going into the graveyard area. And yeah, in here, this is where Smariner is, and we'll talk about Smariner soon. Might see him tonight, might not, but I just wanted to have this lovely dusk experience. I find this area very, very energetic. But there's Smariner on the screen. I might see Smarry, I might not, but if I had to say, then Smariner's the number one familiar in the magic circle. Yeah, he's a real big one, so we'll be talking more about him soon. So it's a few minutes later and I didn't see Smariner, and that's kind of cool because I've seen already 1, 2, 3 cats. I've sat with 3 cats on this walk now that it's May. Obviously there's more coming out to play, but this is where I like to come and sit. I sit on the bench over there and just have a think about things. It's very peaceful here, and the wind turbine has stopped, and I think coming up for 6 months now, so I don't believe that will start again, which is fantastic. And I put an article together with it using AI on the Whisker Witness log about how sound and vibration from things like that upsets cats. So that's a pretty interesting article. So this is the area where I would always see Gingy, or Siri, as I later found out was his name, her name. But it's a little bit sad because for over 2 months now there's been no Siri here, no Gingy. And I would sit with him, of course, her, either there or up on the steps, and many times. But now, every evening I walk through and she's not there. And it's also this year, it's been the same with Jotty. And I can only assume that they've both moved away. So as we go into my 4th year, it's now becoming apparent that, of course. So that's an interesting dynamic, that cats come and go, but there's no actual, well, there was death with Baby Girl. I found out that Baby Girl had been put down. The one with dementia, she'd had a stroke, so they got her put down. And I did an article on that in my Whisker Witness Logs blog. But yeah, that's an interesting sort of dynamic. Over mewing, it's just so nice. So yeah, the recreation ground on a late May, early morning, best time of day, I'd say. I'm sure of it. And at this time of year, the birds are all out, and the grass and the leaves and the flowers. It's absolutely wonderful. So let's see if we can find recreation cat. If not, it's all on my route anyway. We'll most likely see Charlie in about 10 or 15 minutes time. Hello, recreation cat. Hello, come for sits. So here's Baby. Hello. I wondered if you'd be there. Look, he's such a lovely boy. And he'll go exploring around the back because he kind of knows that there's good things very often in the side. Oh, sorry. Very often in the side pocket. Yes. Good morning. Good morning, recreation. Have a sniff of the pole. Aww. So yeah, for me this is my first cat encounter of the day, of course. It's always just so nice just to sit and feel their fur and check their vibe, and then look. That's what they want to do. They just like to sit quietly and share space. And that's what we'll do now for a while. Okay, there's Baby over there. Quite a short sit this time round. But that's good because I've kind of got to get on. I nearly always will see Charlie on St. James's Street. A wonderful street. You'll see that soon, hopefully. For my 3-year review documentary, this is one of my favourite areas in the local area. The Rosevine area, as I call it. I think you'll agree it's beautiful. So this is the corner for St. James's Street. I thought I'd get this little bit on camera. It's such a pleasant walk. You can see the bottom, you see I call it a mudflood terrace. The ground somehow raised or the building sunk. Not quite sure. Charlie's house is 4 or 5 up here on the right. I've met his pet human, Catherine, a couple of times. She's a medium at the local spiritualist church. She knows I come and sit with Charlie most mornings. Normally he would have announced himself by now, so maybe it'll be one of the anomaly mornings where I don't see him. But he's been all year, so I'd say 4-5 months. Charlie's been part of my route. The cats come and the cats go, as I mentioned yesterday. It's quite sad when they just vanish, and then you just get that sinking feeling as the weeks and months pass. It's like, I'm not going to see you again, am I? Which is a strange dynamic. But then there's also the dynamic of new cats coming into the scene. So we've had a few new ones over the last... Well, I came back in October, it's now May. 3 or 4 new ones have come into the fold, maybe 5 or 6 actually. And then there's St Mary's Church all the way down there on the front. So, no Charlie, not to worry. But I spy with my little eye. So it's 8:20 and I've finished my coffee and I'm just walking back. And I'm going via the Jotty area. But I just thought I'd slowly walk here so you can see what charming cats we have on the back streets. And what I'm doing now is just... I don't want my cane to be... I'm going to tuck it up under my arm because the cats always look at my walking cane as if it's like, you know, potential threat. Hello, Poppy. You are looking very relaxed. There. Now I'm not going to disturb you. Oh, baby dear. You want to say hello? No. Maybe round the back. Hey, baby. No. I don't know that one, or there's a dog up there. So yeah, so we're just going to walk round to the area where I would always see Jotty. Jotty's one of the original from the first year. The magic circle. The Valerian priestess I call Jotty. Hello, Poppy. Hello, darling. You look nice up there. You look lovely. Hey, baby. Okay, I'll let you get on. The flowers here. Oh, you are coming to say hello. Yeah. Oops. It's a little bit startled. There we are, darling. There we are, Poppy. Oh, and there's the other one up there. Crouch down and see baby. Hey, darling. There we are. Backstreet pens out. Yes. You can say hello. Round and round they go. They're all so similar. They're all very different, but very, very similar. Hello. That. Such lovely colours and smells. So yeah, I haven't seen this one before, but always very gentle. I like to let them know that I'm not offering them this silly, clumsy human love. I like to let them know I'm offering them calm and safety and peace and rhythm and regularity. So hopefully I'll see this one again. Oops, I'm gonna head off now. Bye, baby. Yeah, so I just thought I'd show you the Jotty area because I really do think that... Oh, you want to say hello again? There we are, darling. You do. Oh, we've got a follower. Where are you? They do this hidey thing. Oh, there you are. There. Something magic about the fingertips. It always just makes me feel like however I'm feeling, usually alright, but sometimes I've been feeling quite tired this year, but however I'm feeling, just to lay my fingers on a cat makes me feel better. I think they're grounders, they're balancers, you know. I think we both benefit just from sitting quietly together. One last touch. There we go, pop it. Right, I'm off. Well, that was nice. You see a new friend. A new friend. Yeah, so I'm at the point now, because it's literally been all year that I haven't seen Jotty. Over the cold winter, I was thinking, well, Jotty's got thin hair, so it's always up here on the bins around here. I've had so many, there she is on the screen. I've had so many sit downs with Jotty. Yeah, absolutely a wonderful member of the Magic Circle, and I have to accept that that she's moved away. I don't think she's died. She wasn't an old cat. And sometimes I'd see her up on the wall here, and she'd jump down and I'd sit on the floor there. And I used to find myself getting very sleepy, especially with Jotty, when I'd sit and meditate with her. Very authentic here, and there's lots of opportunities to meet cats, especially in the warmer months. But not Jotty, not now. So it's the next day, and I'm on my third walk of the day, and this is Garuda. And the famous story of when I was crouched in front of Garuda and I was reading about interspecies communication. And I said, Garuda, if you can understand me, please do something to prove that you can understand me. And she jumped up onto my shoulders and started whacking my face rhythmically with her tail. A great story, fantastic story. So anyway, this is in Golville. It's about a 45-minute walk away from where I live. And I don't see this one so much. Maybe realistically every few weeks. Oh, so affectionate. I heard her meowing, I didn't know where she was. They often call from the bushes and then I go, hello, where are you? Look how affectionate. See how loving this one is. Oh, so special. So special. Bye-bye, Garuda. Bye-bye, darling. Bye-bye, Poppy. There. All right, time to go. Garuda. Bye-bye, baby. A little touchdown. Bye-bye. I've got to get going. This is like Prema from yesterday all over again, isn't it? Another little touchdown. Whoops, touchdown. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Onward we go. The school and the new housing estate.